No horses means no horses.
All right, let's quietly lead the horses out of town.
Okay. We put the horses on a train and we ride the train out of here.
I can put the horses asleep, that make them quiet. Carry, you're carrying them.
And we'll just start riding in the direction of the next town,
Okay.
I think. At least that's what Levi wants to do.
All right. Ironically, the nearest town
It's a casino.
is Barn Hill.
Oh,
How about that casino?
they'll never look for us
That's a
there.
long way away. Perspective.
Yeah, we're going all the way
Here's
across
Wayne
the state.
County.
Yeah?
The casino is up by the Salt Lake, which is here.
Let's do it. Fuck the plot. Let's gamble.
The answer is no.
37 random encounters later.
All right,
That's every side quest ever.
where were we going to meet Mary and Doc Blythe?
You weren't. There wasn't a plan for that in place.
Yeah, he really expected us to have died by hanging by now.
We were just going to find each other, hopefully.
Yeah, there wasn't really an arrangement made in
Where's the
advance.
next town over?
The next?
You said Barn Hill's closed. But
Yeah, Barn Hill is burnt to a crisp. The next
Nobody's
nearest...
waiting for us then.
Actually, that might be a good hideout.
Yeah.
We can lay low there.
No one's going to look for the town that's, razed to the ground.
Okay.
Wait, I don't know if Jed heard this, but they were talking about something about a raid, right?
I heard
Yep.
about the raid.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Well, okay, how about this? Let's get out of town, and while we're in a clearing somewhere,
Yep.
we'll chat.
Okay. Yeah, so some ways out of town. We'll say you're riding north as if you're going to go to Barn Hill. You can decide what direction you're actually going after
Okay.
that. But you are now north. You are safely out of earshot of the town. You can't see any structures anymore through the tree line.
All right, then. Getting you...
I interrupt everything and I just say, Mr. Blackburn, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for all this to happen. I just wanted to. I don't know. I can't even talk, and there's just tears flying down my face. And
Jesus H. Christ, that is enough apologizing.
I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I didn't mean for you to get arrested. I mean for all those people to get... Well, I kind of meant for some of them to get killed, but not all of them to get killed.
Just that one guy.
Just that one guy, because he was kind of an ass. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Miss Temperance. I told you I wouldn't swear anymore, but that guy was an asshole.
And I'm talking to you, but I kind of make a little bit of eye contact with Levi, and I'm like, in the state I was in, I was going to get myself in trouble no matter what you did.
Yeah, but that's still not much of an excuse.
No.
But you're right.
You forgive me, I forgive you. It's water under the bridge. Now let's talk about where we're going and not where we've been.
Can I just go somewhere else?
The next closest town is Barn Hill.
Oh, God. Well, at least we can't burn it down again.
We can flood it this time.
Locusts.
Let's freeze it.
Earthquake?
Tidal wave.
And we still have to find Doc. We should reconnoiter with him and Mary as soon as possible.
I agree. Killian looks mighty bored over there.
Because right now...
Awful bored.
Well,
Right now we need all the extra help we can get.
we last were all together at Barn Hill, so if we follow Doc and Mary's trail from Barn Hill, we might meet them along the way.
They might be coming back that way.
Good thinking.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Now, which one of us is a good tracker? Not it.
No, I'm not.
You rolled a 20 last time.
Just because I'm trained in survival doesn't mean I have a high
Would
score.
investigation help me in tracking?
It's more of a survival thing.
Okay.
By the way, this plump gloss snake is... I'm going to call him Mr. Slithers for now.
Well,
Excellent.
That's a mighty fine placeholder name.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent, Slithers.
Yeah.
Here's I owe you a Coke.
Oddly enough, that secure brick building was, I wouldn't say inundated, but certainly surrounded by these lovely fellows. He gives it a pat.
Yeah, they said something real heavy in there. They got to move. I don't know. I didn't quite understand what they were talking about.
Mm-hmm. And information on his enemy is in there as well.
He must be a big fat enemy, because they said it was something heavy.
Well, considering Sergeant Swan, that wouldn't be too far from the truth.
Yeah. Probably ugly, too.
If it was something heavy, they might be counting their pallbearers.
You do recall, you had heard a rumor that they were recruiting for a specific job.
Mm.
That specific job was to raid a federal arms caravan.
Well, we can try to find this and intercept this armed caravan ourselves. give them some heads up.
I think we need to get somewhere and have some get some rest first. I think everybody's all beat.
Ah, yes, you say true.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I do think laying low in Barn Hill for a night and getting our bearings might not be the worst idea.
Maybe Doc will come back away. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Won't be the comfiest place to sleep, but it'll be better than a jail cell.
So,
Doc and Mary were going to find the tribesmen, right?
Mhm.
Bet they'd be interested in a federal weapons caravan too.
Yeah.
Maybe we make a trade, earn ourselves some friends.
yes, if you could find the man you rescued, you could cash in on his gratitude if you wish.
Well, the man she rescued, I don't deserve any of that credit.
I was actually towards
You
the
can
back
take
when
it
that guy
also.
escaped. Do I know what direction he went in?
He went sort of northeast, which is more or less the same direction you're going. It's not exactly the same, but pretty damn close.
And incidentally, I should mention that you all have Gideon to thank for your rescue.
Thank you, Gideon.
Thank you,
It was
Gideon.
my fault y'all got in there in the first place.
That's true.
All right. And thank you, Mr. Williams, for assisting Gideon.
Does anybody have a good passive perception?
12.
No.
12.
The answer
Smart
is no.
people don't go to the west. We stay on the East Coast.
Wise people are perceptive.
All right, so none of you see it when
The dragon.
When the meteorite lands and the Fire Nation attacks.
or more accurately, there's an individual on the road who is substantially closer to you than you would have anticipated.
Like me to Paul?
No.
That's pretty close.
Ah! Who's this asshole?
But like less than 200 feet away, when you see the silhouette of a man on a horse
we kill him.
approaching you.
I just got in trouble for that. Levi, will you be consistent at least?
Yeah, but we're not on the road now. We're on the road now. We're not in a town. On the
Oh,
road, everything's okay.
yeah, it's like
On the road, it's all fair game.
You get on the road and Levi's like, no, fuck that, I'm going to cut up his corpse.
Okay. Well, I'll still steel myself for what's
Yeah.
coming. He's coming from the opposite.
Are we,
right?
have we divvied up our gear at this point? Are we all like...
Yeah, you're basically equipped.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Alright, alright, well, you're the talker. I'll get in the woods and I'll find a good firing position.
Okay.
Sometimes I wonder if it is my talking that got you into this trouble. But, go on.
Well, do it anyway.
Thank you, and thank you, Temperance,
Thank me. Why?
for putting up with me. You're not an easy man to be with.
Well, you're no chunks duster.
Thank God.
That man could talk the shine off a star.
You went the other way with it.
Yeah, no, I'm romanticizing him.
So to the figure approaching,
Here's
I'll-
my husband.
I'll have my shield out and the saber just kind of
Mrs. Duster.
lowered, but at the ready.
Oh, there!
Do I recognize his voice?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't let him know that.
We immediately murder you.
Oh, there. Oh, where? Oh, there.
It's just the one.
I am
Hello?
Oscar White.
It's just the one horse riding, huh?
Say, evening. Any way you can tell me how far I am from Rose Ledge?
Well, speak of the dark Blythe, and we shall appear.
How's it going, Levi?
Doc!
I'll-
I run and charge to give you a big tentacle bear hug.
I'm
that
riding
a
forward to
horse?
give you a hearty handshake, and then like
Oh, he's still on his horse? I'll wait till he gets off
Do
his
you
horse.
hug the horse?
And then when he gets off his horse, I'll do a big kid
They're
bear.
gonna
So
roll
he
a
gets
new
run
game.
over and dies again. God damn it.
Yeah, I'll get off the horse, just be like, hey guys, how's it going? It's good to see you all.
you as well. Where's Mary?
Oh, she stayed with the tribe for a little while. It's actually her people, the Banoks. They had some really insightful, good things to say. Learned a little bit about myself too while I was out there, but
Oh, well, good.
I guess I don't know what you guys have all been up to since I left, but the most important thing really is that they said that I talked to the leaders of the Bannock tribe, and they said that they had no involvement at all in what happened at Barn Hill.
We have learned that the involvement of the natives is decidedly limited.
Well, they are aware that the people, the settlers here, are blaming them for it, and the younger folk from their tribe have taken it very personally, and the elders have not been able to keep them from traveling out in war gangs to do something about it. So I don't know if there's something that we can do to curtail their efforts, but no good can come of.
My mind keeps traveling back to the sheer quantity of people killed. We've seen this. First it was nearly 200 cows, and now it's about 200 people.
Well, that's what my brain kept going back to, was that ranch we went to where all the cows were dead, and you guys saw that thing that I don't even know. I guess I didn't see it, or my brain couldn't figure out it when you tried to get me to see it, but that's all I could think of. I mean, what else besides a full-scale army could wreck that kind of devastation?
What interest would that flying critter have in coming down to this empty county?
That you pray?
I didn't even say it had anything to do with it. It's just the only thing I could think of.
I admit we have been witness to some powerfully ungodly killings. I just don't know if they're the same doer.
No, most of them come from you, Jedi.
We should...
Hey, Dad, how you doing? It's good to see you.
I'm still alive. Thank you, Doc.
I'm sorry to interrupt. We should really get somewhere less out in the open.
Yeah, we were going to go to the last cemetery.
What are you guys doing?
We
Just hanging
desecrated.
out on the side of the road in the middle of the night.
Oh, just having a casual stroll / escape.
We
from
broke
town.
out of prison.
Yeah, jailbreaks, shooting up dinner parties, the like.
We broke.
So not a lot's changed since I left. Huh?
Well, things went awry.
How long have I been gone?
5 minutes.
I leave for
About 2
5
days.
minutes.
Oh, it's only been 2 days?
It's only been a couple of days, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's like the first time your parents leave you home alone and they come back and they're like,
wait, so
what
all
the
that
fuck?
stuff happened
Where's
like
my
in
house?
the weird lands and
Yep.
this. That's got to be more than 2 days. Right?
Yeah.
So Wayne County is actually only about 120 miles wide.
Yeah.
And they went from one town to the next town.
Yeah.
They bunked up in that town for the night.
Yeah.
They went out into the weird place,
Yeah.
came back, bunked up one more time, hit the road to this place. So this would be the third night.
No, you were with us in the weird place because we got to Barn Hill after that.
He wasn't in the weird
Barnhill was
place.
first.
I wasn't in Weird World.
Oh,
This is the evening of the third day, so this would be 2.5.
See, he's getting off the way. He's docked away.
Yeah.
He's getting on his horse.
So it's been like 72 hours.
Yeah, thereabouts, yep.
Okay. Yeah, so it was good though. The Bannocks had us sit in with a couple of their rituals. I learned a lot about the world, about myself in a short period of time.
I think we have a lot of stories to share.
Yeah.
Let's stop riding and
Teach. Yeah.
find some rooftop that isn't entirely burned away. We can't stay here. Well,
Well, have you made any progress on your quest to get?
we know
I
the.
can't remember the fellow's
Guthrie.
name. Guthrie. Yeah.
We understand where we can find information pertaining to him, but getting in there is going to be a challenge. Hostilities have been stirred up in the town. Not against all of us, but against Jedediah and Temperance at least. Possibly you too. I hope they didn't get a good look at your face.
People don't remember what kids look like.
Guy's not making any friends, I see.
Well, I tried.
Well, you got a snake.
I
do.
tried
Is
too.
it Mr. Slithers?
You look like a regular caduceus standing there.
A caduceus?
Caduceus.
What is a caduceus?
The pole with the snake wrapped
Yeah, it's
around it.
It's a symbol of medicine.
Medicine
Did you
symbol.
read?
The wings.
Oh, caduceus. I didn't know that's how it was pronounced.
Caduceus.
I should be studying that medical journal. In any case,
I made friends with the bartender, but then I killed his best customer.
it's hot territory right now. I suppose you and I could infiltrate it. But as for these three, I fear for their lives. They were set to be hanged.
All three? Even the kid?
No, you two. Though they did not, they did not get their hands on Gideon and I.
It was a harsh town full of people. If
I would
they want to
imagine
hang a child. Although the fact that they want to hang you is also...
Gideon caused some stirring with his words, but he did not, as far as I know, take the lives of any men.
They kind of punch you in the shoulder and go, you little rebel.
I shot one. He actually shot one. He fell out a window, but I think he lived.
All right, he shot. He shot.
I squeeze his shoulder like kind of like a dad would when he's proud of his kid. I'll be like, "All right, you're looking all right, kid.
You'll get him next time, Bucko."
You can keep trying. Just keep trying to kill
Just keep
people.
murdering folks in the street.
My particular set of identity clothes this time was a man named Thomas Fairchild, a faith healer, and things were going reasonably okay, but.
No, they might be sending a
Campus
posse
ourselves.
afterwards. Can we talk on the road?
I figured we were.
Yeah,
You
we're
guys are
going.
walking, yeah.
Well, Mr. Williams, you do have that nice disguise kit of yours.
I do.
I'm afraid
Comes in
any
great
sort
handy.
of subterfuge might be. Well, I might not be very useful in it, as I'm kind of well known around these parts.
Around these parts, really.
Most of Utah, really.
All the same, you're not known for any crimes in the town.
Well, I used to ride with an Englishman who had us do some less than reputable work here and there. I'm sure word of our exploits have ranged across most of the state at this point. It's been a couple of years.
We are just a bunch of naughty boys, aren't we?
I do what I have to survive. I didn't say I like.
I was not going to throw you under under
Carriage?
the carriage like that.
Well, thank you, Mr. Williams.
The only thing sinful about you is the price you charge, which scared me into celibacy.
You did try the goods first, Mr. Williams.
And I will treasure it all my life as I try to make that $25 back.
Oh, good lord.
Spicy.
You could always run up a tab. Mr. Blackburn here has.
I will not be enslaved by your debts, Temperance.
It ain't
But
that
thank
bad.
you.
So, not to stop this incredibly entertaining banter. Do you guys have a plan, a goal? I kind of just catching back up with you. What's
There was a plan, it fell through.
Oh, you said that there was a building that had information about Guthrie's.
There's a Confederate commander who's in town right now named Admiral Wilkes. He has access to this building, as well as presumably Guthrie himself.
Confederates?
That's right.
Late to be a Confederate? Like 27 years too late to be a
It's
Confederate?
it's the thrilling sequel, Doc.
17.
Confederates 2, The Confedering.
Yeah, you're at 17.
17
Yeah,
years.
math is hard.
God.
Well, some of them are late Confederates now. If that puts your mind at ease.
I don't care one way or the other. I just
No, they're trying to get their hands on what was it, a Union transport, some sort,
Weapons.
Federal wagon of some sort, transporting weapons or some other valuables. I was just trying to use it as a spring point to get close to the commanders, so that I would expose Guthrie. We'll have to find another way around now.
Well, what's the deal with this building you're talking about?
It's a secure building. It only opens from the inside. It's remarkable. The back way is bricked up entirely. Front, as I say, there's no lock on the front. Someone has to be inside already to let someone in. Very secure. Solidly built. And, again, a copious amount of Slither's family over there as well.
And you say we need to get inside to find out about the whereabouts of Guthrie, or is Guthrie in there?
Something about the whereabouts. A man we interrogated by the name of Sergeant Swan gave up the information before he expired.
That's that guy you told me about.
He was a bit of a vile man, but he did cave in the end. He spilled words and other fluids.
Yup.
So you must have felt good about that.
I wasn't displeased.
Well, he was on your list.
Well, now my list is shorter, but we are in no better of a position.
All right. So we got to get inside this building, but we can't go into the town.
Not everyone can. I can try to disguise you.
Well, if these are the lawmen in town,
Yes, there's a whole force led by Abner Wilkes.
right? But are they lawmen or are they these soldiers?
They're men with guns, so I think they make the law wherever they go.
The whole town is kind of criminal, I think.
My point is, that they're going to care about me.
They won't
If
care.
they recognize me, I'm saying my past exploits. If they're
That I cannot say.
they're like federal lawmen.
I don't know your
Oh.
exploits, so I can't say for certain.
I don't think they like the feds much at all. I think that's their whole gimmick is they don't like any of them.
All right. Well,
As I've said, I think that this quest for revenge may be leading you down a path of folly. It may be time to look at better things, but if this is what it takes to clear your mind, I will continue along with it. But again, tell me what you want to do next time, so that I may back your play as you can back mine.
I did have a thought on that account.
Holy shit.
And that was his thought.
First, I'm going to crap my pants.
Oh my God.
And check.
Is that a
Without
surprise
changing-
initiative? What is
without
surprise
changing-
round? What is it?
all of us
Doesn't change the expression.
All right.
On to the next order of business.
also covered.
That was a wise choice.
Hold on, Mr. Williams. Somebody seems to have crapped my pants.
Oh my God! Someone put shit in my pants.
That's where I was going.
He leans in to listen.
I think we discussed this briefly before, but this federal weapons caravan they're planning on raiding, maybe we can get them word, turn the ambush around on their ambushers. That will it will lessen the amount of resistance we'll face if we go back into that town.
Mm-hmm. Do we know where the transport is? That's what I wonder.
There's only so many major roads, right?
I would like everyone to give me either a history or a nature check, whichever is better.
Neither. 8.
Yeah, they're both carburetors. 14.
10.
Also 14.
17 nature.
Okay, that's pretty banging. All right.
I'm close to the ground. I see things more.
Jedediah and Temperance know that while there are many paths, there's only one bridge that crosses the Fremont River.
Wow.
They got to be coming from one of those directions.
You know-
Gideon,
Do you guys know anything about this caravan? I mean,
It's a federal weapons caravan.
that's my point. I mean, they're gonna have Pinkertons probably, heavy arms, horsemen. I mean,
Well, we're not attacking it.
oh, I thought that's what you were angling.
No,
No.
I want to ride up to them and tell
Six
them.
of us want to end up dead or in Yuma prison. And we can go after this caravan.
No, my plan is to flag them down on the road and alert them to the ambush they're facing, so that they can plan a counter ambush and hopefully kill some of the folks that would like to kill us if we go back to this town.
That's a much better plan. Let's do that.
Though,
What's the name of that river?
Fremont.
though we
That's a good
are
one.
exactly well liked by the Pinkertons.
The odds of the Pinkertons we met up north being here is very low. I believe that we will be fine. Unless Ben is our DM, in which case we are royally fucked.
I would also like to point out that they had no way to connect us to anything that happened with that federal marshal.
It was all your husband's idea.
When
as I
you're
recall.
17, you know a little bit about the terrain around here. You started to pick up on the patterns with where, like, things bubble up with rocky precipices and drop back down to these sort of, like, grassy valleys.
Aries.
Yes, I've overused the words. I'm trying to avoid doing so.
Tabernicles?
Yes, there's 5 tubercles,
Accoutrement?
and they have 12 accoutrements.
How far has Dog's been from here?
Quite a ways, 9-10 hours by horseback.
Okay.
But what you know is that while there may be many paths, you can pick out a way that's more or less southeast from here that would be the flattest of the paths, and therefore the easiest to go by if you have a lot of really heavy wagons and you're in danger of breaking wagon wheels because of the weight and the bulk you've got that you're traveling with. And if they're looking for something heavy, they're going to have to stay to flat land.
I'm starting to think, and maybe all of you have put this together by now, I'm starting to think the heavy thing they want to move they don't have yet, they're planning on getting.
Yeah.
Another approach is I could remain in town and try to garner continued goodwill with the soldiers and put myself in a position of, relative authority.
I mean, another thing you could do, if that's your angle, is perhaps you could get, as a prove your loyalty sort of angle, you could get put on this posse that's going out after the federal wagon train, and then, we get that's pretty close to already having a saber in their back, so to speak.
True.
Not that that's your preferred way to fight. I think you prefer face-to-face, but
I would rather stop a fight before it even begins using words.
having
Lies or otherwise.
But having one, they'd have one less number, and we would have you infiltrating their ranks.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
Just a thought.
It would look strange to them if I were to have left town so suddenly.
Unless you want to try to get. When is
Was
this
it?
wagon supposed to be coming through? You know?
You don't know the exact timeline, but you know it's very soon. The whole point of this was to get on the recruiting mission to go, and it sounds like they're gearing up if Abner Wilkes is already back in town.
I mean, the other thing we could do is if they're going after this thing, we could just use it as a distraction. That half their or majority of their forces leaves town, then that leaves it open for us to go in and get into this building,
You guys calculating.
where many of their guns will be on the trail.
We've already determined that calculator's not going to do that.
He's abacusing. He bought it from the.
He doesn't abacus and tell.
He bought it from the Celestials.
The deputy and I
No?
spoke before Gideon assisted me. The deputy did see me. We were talking. He fell asleep. You two got out of your cell somehow, and I wasn't there when he woke.
You followed us. You tried your best to track us down.
Hmm.
You are a good man and devoted to the cause.
However, tracking at night is not your forte, right?
Mm-hmm. You're but a simple faith healer.
Indeed.
Emphasis on the simple.
As I say, I want to do what is best for all of you in achieving our goals. Tell me where you would like me and how I may best serve the cause.
I have been proven mistaken in making unilateral decisions. My vote is for alerting the federal arms caravan to their ambush.
That is where you and Temperance ought to go.
I feel we'd have to, or you two would have to leave now to make that a possibility, to get to them before these good fellows do.
You can look after him. I personally would not trust me to do that.
Sounds wise. Gideon probably shouldn't be in Rose Ledge anyways.
You know, a thought occurred to me. When we found that chest with Guthrie's picture in it, we also found a cross with serpent around it. Again, he'll kind of just gestured to Mr. Slithers. I mentioned that I'm related in some way to those people. But it struck me, I can't believe it's not striking me until now, why their symbol was in the same chest of goods as a picture of Mr. Guthrie. You know, Jed, if I were still with my people, my old people, and I wanted to get to you in some way, I would manipulate your desire, your burning desire for revenge against Guthrie, to lure you into something. I'm not saying that's the case, but considering the evidence that we found so far, it just reinforces my point that you must exercise some caution. Someone could be leading you by the nose.
You're not wrong. I just wonder what they would want from me.
Could simply be to eliminate a threat. Maybe they want you for something else. Either way, it can't be good.
I'll keep my eyes open. That rings true.
Alright, what's the plan?
I think Levi's gonna go back. Maybe come with Doc.
Run for
It's
mayor.
time, I think it's time to rook the party.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm okay with it.
There's so many in-character reasons
Not
to
me.
do it too.
Not me.
The two
No,
of
but
you
it's
are
only
going to
year
Rose
round.
Ledge.
You're always-
The
Yep.
three of you are trying to camp this precipice where you believe you're going to see this caravan.
Yes. Yeah.
And Levi will coach you a little bit. When we come in, I will look bedraggled, you'll be carrying me. You're just coming into town, you found me, looking tired after a chase. You're bringing me back in.
Alright, sounds. You can just ride on the horse.
Yes.
Before we part
I do.
ways,
But I'll lend my horse to you guys so I can come in on his horse.
what are Temperance, Gideon, and I to do after we've alerted the caravan? Where do we meet you, and what's our role after that?
I'd say come straight back here to Rose Ledge.
Guns a-blazing,
Or
or
maybe circumvent the main road into town, but come find us. let us know if you see the posse on its way out to take this caravan. That's a good sign that it's go time in town. Come find us, and we'll get into this building.
How far away is
Right? I mean, that's the best plan I got.
Barn Hill from Rose Ledge? Is that like a...
It's a short ride, couple hours. Yeah.
We meet back at Barn Hill?
It's as
Well, how about this?
desolate and unexpected a place as any.
You guys go and try to make contact with these federal agents. Assuming that goes well, and they let you leave, and everything's fine. Start heading back here. And like I said, don't take any of the main thoroughfares. If you happen to see the posse heading out, continue to Rose Ledge. Levi and I will do whatever we have to do to maneuver towards getting into this building. If things go awry for us here, we'll meet you in Barn Hill. Make your way back by way of Barn Hill. Was there a tall, like a structure still standing, a church or a flagpole or something in Barn Hill?
Yeah, there's a flagpole.
A tree?
Flagpole will work,
Okay. If, for whatever reason, it's not safe to come back to Rose Hill, we'll get to Rose Ledge, we'll get to Barn Hill, and I pull off my red scarf, I'll put a red flag up on the flagpole. And that'll be your sign to stop. That's where he and I are in Barn Hill, and you should stop there and not continue on.
So Barn Hill is basically our halfway point.
Yes.
And Barn Hill is our holdout in case things go poorly.
And if Barn Hill is compromised, I say Dog's Bend. We were on good terms with the people there when we last left.
And hopefully, through one of these circumstances, we'll all be able to meet up again very soon.
Right. Jed is satisfied with that plan.
Okay.
Is that agreeable to everyone? Temperance?
So you guys aren't following the Confederate raiding party. You're going to
No,
stay and stake out the building to try to get
We're going to
in.
use the federal caravan as an excuse to just get them out of town, and then while they're out of town, we'll see if we can get into that building and be gone before they get back. You know.
All right.
Okay. See you again, everyone. Temperance. I look forward to seeing that heart of gold of yours shine one day soon.
We have enough time for a long rest.
Nope.
Oh, damn it.
I kind of like. I'll pat
Get
you
in.
and pat both on the shoulder.
Yeah.
I'll shake your
Don't
hand.
feel sorry.
And
You did. You proved yourself
Good
that
luck.
night a better man than me.
Don't get killed, Mr. Woos.
Well, there go my evening plans. He says with a
I know
chuckle
a good
away.
coffin shop in the town.
He enjoys the chuckle of that.
I'm actually going to go over to you and like
Jed.
kind of like pat you on the shoulder and like lean in like I'm going to give you a hug, but just be like, keep an eye on these two, all right?
Yeah.
I know you're good for it.
God gave you the
Mr.
talent.
Blackburn I worry about, but I'll do my best.
The
Jed.
child is the responsible one in our group.
I believe God gave you these talents of yours to protect, not to slaughter. Keep that in mind. Keep an eye on these two.
I'll look after him. You protect, you attack.
But most importantly, he come back.
Oh.
All right.
So let's go meet the Federales.
All right. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, you strong, strapping man. Please bring me back to town.
Jeepers.
He'll say that laughing.
I chuckle and say, all right, let's
I
go.
just see the script of it now. I was like,
All right. So the three of you can place yourselves wherever you were approaching the caravan from.
Probably in a non-threatening, easy-to-see
Yes.
sort of place.
Like way back on the trail.
Like
Yeah.
on the middle of the road.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I will be like,
You guys,
guns holstered, hands up.
are you guys on horses? Or
Yes, I have Farkas. Actually, did Farkas live or did Farkas
Yes,
get
Farkas
caught?
lives?
Yes, you always have this problem. Farkas is still alive.
Yeah. You killed Cyril.
Cyril turned to glue.
Oh,
but
yeah. Cyril the Glue Factory, yeah. Rip in peace. May you become the bindings of many good books.
I'm gonna stay a little hidden.
They are not quiet. They are not discreet. This is early morning now. The sunrise has hit. These men are looking sharp.
You know what? I'm actually gonna stand up here so I look innocent. I hope you look innocent by being a child.
They're looking up on the ridge because they're looking for the threat that they're most likely to encounter, which is Native Americans that don't like the shit they're doing.
Right, yes.
So it's actually a surprisingly long time before they spot your profile on the trail as they are riding up. And you see the guy who's walking out in front of the wagon. The wagon's going at a walking pace while these 4 guys on foot sort of hot-footed in front of it. And he sort of slows one guy down and does one of these, and the guy pulls up on the horses. And they pull out to about where they are, form a defensive perimeter around the wagon, say, "Ho there!"
My name is Jedediah Blackburn. I'm here to talk.
I think you can talk from there, thank you.
As it suits you. It has come to my attention that there is a rebel force striking out from Rose Ledge with the intention of raiding your caravan and stealing your goods.
You hear a couple of chuckles from some of the guys. A rebel force!
Number in the dozens. Slightly less now.
Some of the chuckles start to die down. And how'd you come upon this information, Mr. Blackburn?
Until recently, I was held prisoner by them. I have since escaped, and I'm doing my patriotic duty to protect this great nation.
I would like a persuasion check.
That's pretty good, man.
Trying.
It's pretty solid, yeah. Yeah, it's actually solid. Give me with advantage.
Okay. 12.
Okay. Mr. Blackburn, I see you are armed.
I am.
Could you drop your weapons?
All right. And I reach down. I would keep my right hand up, and I reach down with my left hand and just unbuckle my gun belt. Let it fall off my horse.
Approach.
And spur my horse forward. Get within Gatling gun range.
Your horse's Gatling guns.
Right on that red mark in the ground there.
Right in that zone we have marked the killing floor.
Stay right underneath that piano.
Yes, we got Looney Tunes.
You step on that box labeled Acme.
Be a big hanging animal.
I don't wish to surprise or startle no one. I am riding with a woman and a child. It was Temperance Allendale and Gideon. They too were caught up in the Rose Ledge incident. Please do not fire upon them.
We do not fire on women and children here, Mr. Blackburn. This is what brings you out this way.
I'm a bounty hunter. I was tracking one Mr. Guthrie.
This guy who's out talking to you, he looks to be pretty young. Guthrie's probably before his time. But he turns back, and there's an older guy who's actually driving the wagon, and he arches an eyebrow like, what? This guy looks up at him, and sort of reacts a little bit, turns back to you. Mr. Guthrie?
Boone Tag Guthrie. You might know the name, you might not.
Guy up in the wagon's like, I knew it! Who was that bastard from the war? And the other like young guys are like, this again? Yeah.
I was following a hint that he might be hiding out in Wayne County, and through a bit of bad luck and maybe poor decision-making on my own part, I was taken captured by his forces. He does have a considerable rebel force holed up in Rose Ledge.
Well, another roll of some type.
I'm really good at, animal handling.
You cannot handle their animals. We've talked about this.
With both hands.
Well, what about your animal, man?
Can I
I'll handle it.
can I insight any of these guys from
Yes.
where I am and just try
you
to
have to get within
gauge?
30 feet, so you have to come out into visual
Well,
range.
so I was intentionally trying
It
to
sounds
be.
like these two are trying to come into
I
visual
was
range.
trying to be in visual range from the beginning. I wasn't
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to hide.
Are you also just stepping
Yeah.
out? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, then give me the roll.
Lifting up the shirt, yeah. I'm here.
And just to tell you what I'm trying to gauge is is he making inroads, or are they not believing it, or just try to gauge their sort of feeling is what I'm shooting for. That's going to be a 16.
A lot of 10s tonight.
Yeah, it is a lot of times. It actually does seem like he's making some headway. You've not seen Jed do very well socializing before. So it's almost like you're doing a
that's
double
why
take.
I'm
You're like, this is not the worst thing ever.
Kind of talking to his caliber of people.
Yeah. Well,
Caliber being the right choice
That's
of words.
the-
particularly the old guy in the wagon seems to have already taken a spark to this young man. The other guys here at this party, maybe not, it's hard to say, but the old man, at least, is totally on board with what Jed is selling.
I trot up next to Jed, hands up, and add in that we also encountered a Sergeant Swan and an Abner Wilkes.
So the guy in the wagon say, I think they're legitimate. All right, relax. Mr. Blackburn, would you introduce your party?
Yes, this is Mrs. Temperance Allendale.
Ms. Temperance Allendale.
Mrs. Chunks... Ms. Allendale. And the young Master Gideon there, they rode with me south. It's a long story, but they both faced the same peril I did in Rose Ledge.
The old man's like, were you in the war?
I was, sir.
What side did you fight on?
I was blue, sir. I was a Jayhawk.
And he hands the reins off to the guy next to him. He's like, and he hops out, and he's like a fat man. But when he jumps down from the wagon, you can see he's actually from the knee down on his right side. There's a peg leg.
Oh, neat.
And he hops down.
He's a pirate.
He comes out and he goes for the handshake.
Yeah.
You dig it?
Yeah.
He goes for the handshake, and he does like the arm around and pulls you in.
I'm looking at you like hugging this guy like... I've never made a friend before. Is this how it's supposed to work?
I guess so. There's more clothing and less nudity than I'm used to.
Okay.
There's no exchange of money. Everyone's clothes are still on. It's weird.
It's weird. I don't like any of it.
Yep.
I haven't shot this man yet. No.
He says, my name's Carter Bay. Carter Bay. I fought with the infantry on the front lines.
Well, nice to meet you, Mr. Bay. Does he have a rank that I can see?
He's not like wearing a uniform from the Civil War. It's 17 years removed. He's just wearing like the federal...
Right, but I would recognize if he was wearing like an insignia of rank. It would be the same.
He's not wearing that. He's got like it's like when you retire from the military and you take a civilian job that's like moving material. It's basically like a moving company for the federal government at this point.
Yeah, he's a contractor.
So he's wearing the same uniform all these guys are wearing, and there's no indication of anybody being in charge, other than the guy who was willing to be vocal with you when you started. But he just comes in for the embrace, and you start talking shop about the war. He's picking your brain for all sorts of factoids about the service that you performed, and it sounds like you're not hiding anything from him.
No, I'm being completely open.
This other guy who was talking to you is like rolling his eyes and standing to the side. He's got his hands in his pockets. It's like, oh my god, it's taking so long. And then this guy is like, I'm so rude. This is Luisa de Vega, and he does not look like a Luisa de Vega. He's just like a very traditionally like Caucasian, maybe German descent.
Jim Craven.
And when you start looking at him for a while and like scrutinizing, he's like, it's on my father's side, my grandfather's father actually.
You don't look dwarvish.
Yeah, basically that's sort of thing. It just doesn't quite fit, but he's like, it's go back like 4 generations. And he's just like making small talk with you, and these other guys, after a while, are actually starting to become less bored and more amped up. Like, they've started to pick up on the idea that the two of you were a big deal in the war, and that some of the stories this guy's been feeding them for months is actually legitimate. And so they're starting to get into this. Weirdly enough, you're making friends. And so eventually Luisa de Vega takes the reins back, not the literal reins, but the figurative, metaphorical, conversational reins. And he says, so this ambush you're talking, you said dozens.
Well, it's hard to get a proper count during the gunfight, but yeah, I believe so. Is that accurate? I mean, am I...
Yeah, it doesn't sound wrong.
I'm not trying to intentionally mislead them. I'm trying to relate what I actually saw. So, if I'm wrong, correct me.
You see him go... I can't make the sound. I can't whistle like that. But he does that, and like 8 guys come out of like bushes behind rocks and stuff. They've all got rifles, and he's like, "All right, posse up." And everyone comes up into the group, and he starts like laying out orders about like where they're going to go, how they're going to take control of the terrain and make it look like they've got fewer guys and that sort of thing. It looks like these are professionals. These guys know what's going on. This is not their first time to the rodeo. When you describe them as Confederates, they sort of arch eyebrows because they're used to dealing with skirmishes with Native Americans. And it's sort of a very different feel. But a couple of these guys are either old veterans or had family who were veterans and described some of the horrors of war to them. And they sort of know how to approach this from a tactical standpoint. And they are diagnosing it with that sort of intensity.
Refresh my memory. So you had told me with a nature check earlier that it was like a flat road. It would have been nice. Is that this road, or is that
you're literally on that road?
Okay. I didn't know if that was their road or if it was where the ambush road was going to intersect. That's why. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically there's like one flat path, and all the other ones go up and down these little foothills.
Okay.
Fair enough. It's not inconceivable they could get heavy goods up and down those foothills, but it's certainly not the path of least resistance, which is what you find yourself standing on right now.
Okay.
Were there any other things you wanted to do with these people before we cut away to Doc and to Levi?
I have a question to ask if you want to jump in.
Well, I was just going to be like fascinated with this captain or whoever who lost his life. So did they? Can I ask you? Did they cut that off? Is it above the knee or below the knee? That's just.
Oh no, they didn't cut that one. That was a cannonball.
Ooh, okay. I mean, I've been reading up on some of these surgeons and stuff, and they some say you cut above and some.
He leans in
below,
real close to you and interrupts what you're saying, and he goes, "I kept the ball. I didn't keep the foot."
Hey guys.
He wears it on a big Gucci chain around his neck. So I will ask Mr. De Vega.
Yep.
Sir, as a patriot, if you require my assistance, I'd help you out. If you don't, though, ride with a woman and a child, we still have business in Rose Ledge. We'd most likely steer clear of the battle.
Does it sound like you're trying to participate in the battle? When you say that?
No, I do not want to participate
Okay.
in the battle. I personally want to, but Jed does not.
Jed does not. Yeah. He excuses you. He says, "I think we've got it handled." He instructs his men. They're about to lay the trap, basically.
Awesome.
It looks like they had a couple like rough-looking hunter guys who've been out here in the frontier, and they're literally like packing down things on top of bear traps and stuff. Like they're not fucking around.
That's the kind of shit I'm super interested in, planning on being a ranger down the road.
Yeah, you're watching it. And it's actually fascinating seeing
Yeah.
these guys work, and they're fast. They're real fast.
Neat. All right, cool. I'm keeping that in the back of my mind. But yes, other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, okay. And you made some friends. Write down their names.
I did. Luis De Vega?
Luisa de Vega
Luisa De Vega.
and Carter Bay.
I got Carter Bay.
Louisa.
Luisa.
How do you spell it?
Lueza.
I was totally wrong.
I don't even know if that's a real name. It just sounded cool in my head, so I wrote it down.
And the way I had it spelled, I was going to think it was Louisa. I was going to think it was going to be a female last time I looked it up and be all confused.
Nope, it's Luisa de Vega. He's Alright, I need to find some spookier music. What do I have?
We have lots of spooky music.
I'm gonna go with this one for right now.
No, you have lots of speakers.
That's
I don't think
accurate.
that-
The Shadows theme from
Very
Final
accurate.
Fantasy VI.
As Josh's former DM, I can testify that if Josh has lots of spooky music, then his DM has lots of spooky music. It's almost a constant stream of links,
Nice.
more so than you can keep up with.
It's something you
I'm gonna go with
catch
this one.
from knowing.
This one's appropriate. It's sort of spooky and quiet. I like that.
Are you telling me to shut it up?
Shut the fuck up. Alright. While this is all going on, it's early dawn. Some people have gotten up
Dawn
from their...
approaches. Hi, Dawn.
Shut the fuck up. Some people have gotten up from their restless attempts at slumber and are slumming it around town. The local cafe is serving coffee, and the two of you arrive in town, as per your ruse.
Yeah. And pretty fucking exhausted too.
I mean, I'm tired too because I rode all night. But
Yeah.
we going to town.
All right, you ride into town. There's a few people out and about.
Levi, you got a
For the most
place
part.
that
There should be a boarding house not too long ago. Leave me somewhere, cut and check in by yourself, and I'll come join you.
okay, as you wish. I will leave him and go check in by myself.
Okay, yep. He leads you to the boarding house. I forget the name of what it was, but he leads you to it. You are pointed out to it. You go in, you check in. They have a vacancy. Their tenant from last night never showed up. And they permit you entry. It costs you $4 per week.
Shit.
Classy establishment.
Yeah.
It's $100.
Well, they also serve 3 meals.
$100 for 3 meals and a place to stay. That's not bad.
It's pretty good.
Since what we last did there, they have a deposit.
Yeah, don't turn on the black light.
And then once he's checked in, I will slip in to the room with him.
Okay. Yeah, there's few enough people out here, even though the sun is starting to come up over the hills. You don't have any scrutiny. People aren't paying attention to you. There's just not enough people around. You get into the room, and the two of you are now safely ensconced in the boarding house.
Knowing how, the walls may not be the thickest, I'll still keep my voice low. But I'll say, Levi, what's the plan? Do we have, what's our angle here? Are we just going to wait?
Rest for now. Let the dust settle. They're probably going to be in a bit of a hissy fit, knowing that their prisoners are gone with very little explanation. I'll concoct a story. I'll make sure I'm good on the story. I tried to pursue them. They got away. Don't know how they escaped. Since I'm a holy man, my name is Thomas Fairchild here, by the way.
You're going under a ruse, I see.
That's what I came in here under. That's how they know me.
Okay, I will try not to screw that up.
Thank you. And you may just say that perhaps they, or maybe that devil child invoked the power of Satan to blind their eyes and let them escape. That seems like as good a story as any for a man befitting my position.
I mean, yeah, sure. That sounds whatever you got to do. I'm gonna get some sleep, and if you need me for anything, just come wake me up.
Yeah, just thinking out loud.
No, that's cool. I'm gonna
I will be under the watchful guard of Mr. Slithers.
Yes. I can't give a straight face every time you say it. It's too good.
Yeah, you need to give him a real name. It's too funny.
Okay.
No, I kind of like it.
Your horse has been pounded. Your horse has been crushed into a cube.
You have 30 minutes to move your cube. That's my favorite, dude. That's my favorite comedy of The Simpsons, right? Like that scene. Here are your messages.
So I will just get some rest.
Okay. You are not under the same stresses as the rest of this group. You haven't been privy to any of this garbage until this morning, so
I blissfully know fuck all about what's going on.
that might serve you real well in a moment. You already came into this with the benefits of a long rest anyway, so that should be good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just. It's just RP rest, really. I don't have any reasons for needing a long rest.
Cool. Yeah, and I'm not going to impose exhaustion on you or anybody at this point. All right, Mr. Fairchild.
Yes.
Town is not exactly a buzz, sort of the opposite. Quite quiet.
Okay. Check it. So what? I'm going to try to rest because I need it.
Okay.
So I'll just take advantage of the quiet then and just get a long rest if I can.
8 hours?
In a bed in a boarding house. Yeah, fuck. I'm useless without my mystic spells.
You have a real bed. You're not currently under pursuit. The source of your stress is removed.
Mm-hmm.
You gain a long rest.
Me,
all right.
I'm the source of his stress.
Pretty much any of us at this point.
It's like, finally got rid of all three of them.
I could sleep.
My plan worked.
Yep.
It's just like having kids.
All right. Okay, so about 6 a.m., you tell this caravan what's going down.
Mm-hmm.
By 8 o'clock in the morning, the riders have left Rose Ledge and are in pursuit of this armed caravan. By 8:30, you arrive on the outskirts of the town.
Which town?
Rose Ledge.
Okay.
You're riding right past it to go to Barn Hill, though, right?
Yeah.
Continue to ride. You'll get to Barn Hill by 11 o'clock or so.
Really, for Barn Hill, we just need to get close enough to see that flagpole to see if they've left out
Right.
any
To
sign.
see if my scarf's.
And then if everything's good, we're gonna go sort of surreptitiously back to Rose.
Yeah, make sure you, like I said, stay off the main thoroughfare and try to avoid the patrol.
Normally it'd be about 2
Right.
hours. We'll call it 2.5. Makes it 11:30. You get to the town of Barn Hill. There is no handkerchief on the flagpole.
I like that you're keeping track of time. It lets us know our time of death.
Yes.
Very important.
By 9 o'clock, a firefight emerges that nobody is present for.
We just circumvented Ben's whole plot.
Yeah, we did it.
All these NPCs for nothing.
we acted like real people and told the army that bad guys were around and then left and let them fight.
The three of you, well, I guess that's the next decision point. So the three of you arrive at Barn Hill. There is no handkerchief. It's 11:30 in the morning.
Well, the plan was, if there's no handkerchief, we ride onto Rose Ledge and we meet them in secret. All right,
And we're awake by now, I assume.
No, you're awake at about 2 o'clock for a long rest, 8 hours. So, you turn around, you ride back to Rose Ledge as per the plan? All right. So from 11:30, staying off the main thoroughfare, again, we'll call it 2.5 hours. About the same time they're waking up is when the three of you are surreptitiously trying to get back into town. Which, at this point, there are people milling about. Everywhere. It's very busy right now. There's actually people on every street corner. They're milling about, and the Confederates are not absent, but certainly significantly reduced.
Okay.
And there's a sort of quiet pall of disappointment and sort of lingering dread among all people here.
With my little sneaking around the town the night before, do I know of a good way to enter that may not be as heavily watched? Is there anything I remember, like maybe, like the where the brick building is, or where the prison is, or something? There's like a view that's blocked. It's easy for us to approach.
There's some real tall grass on one side of the town that you could sort of slip under. For you, it's really easy because you're very small, and probably for Temperance as well. She's also quite small. For Jedediah, that's going to be a tougher order.
Hey, you want me to go find them? Maybe you should hide out here, and I'll try to sneak in and find them. They may be looking for you. They may have forgotten about me. I might be able to do that.
All right, be careful. Go find them. Tell them where we're at.
Yeah.
Stealth roll with advantage.
It's going to be at 14.
Okay.
Another 10.
Nice.
I know, 10's everywhere.
So two of you are waking up at this point.
I'll wake up, get dressed, go downstairs, get breakfast since I paid for it, and
It'll be lunch at this point.
Lunch at this point,
well,
yeah.
for
Well,
me it's
double.
breakfast. That's
Yeah.
all that matters.
I will.
Bacon, eggs, and a club sandwich.
I'll ask him for a double portion since I missed breakfast.
Yeah, they're okay with that.
1/4 portion.
It's an old woman who runs this place. She's an old. Sounds like her husband died in the Civil War, and she just kept up the house as a boarding house.
Check killed him.
Then I will head.
I'll second that.
Yes, dude.
After breakfast, I guess I'm just gonna like casually stroll about, kind of looking around. I might look a little touristy, I guess, but
You got your short pull up from your waist, and
White shirt.
you're wearing sandals with socks, and you're
Doc
taking pictures.
Doc Blythe has got. I mean, you guys have noticed that I've had this like kind of. You may have noticed that I had this kind of like just really calm smile, and
Yeah, you seemed like you were high as a motherfucker.
so I'll just be kind of just like walking around looking at stuff, just be like, oh, that's a cool tree.
Lick your hands.
And
You call them fingers, but I never seen thing.
but also keeping an eye out for any of them approaching on the outskirts.
You don't see Gideon yet, but Gideon sees you.
So only you were out, you're not out at this
I
point?
don't know.
I would have liked to have also grabbed a double lunch fist.
Yep.
And
Double fisting lunch.
yeah.
2 breakfast burritos going to town.
It's gotten probably what it looks like if they was probably fucking ravenous by this point.
At this point, for sure.
He'll keep Slithers hidden during when he's inside.
Yes.
But no, I'll just I'll keep him up my sleeve.
Okay.
Because I'll communicate that that's a very warm place. You can just hang out there.
Seems fair.
And so I will also stroll around town, probably linger near the church.
Okay.
And just continue being the holy man who's in kind of a crisis.
Yeah, you're not actually actively being scrutinized. You kind of had this whole plan cooked up, and they don't seem to be paying you much mind.
Which is fine. I will check on I'll also check on to see if there's any other wounded soldiers still.
Absolutely, there are.
If I get within range
Really?
of him at any point, because I'm afraid of freaking you out, so I'm going to do it for him. I'm going to do the same illusion trick.
Mm-hmm.
with like, my whispering voice or some sort of bullshit. So I'll do the same.
Okay.
You can either sigh heavily or.
What do you say?
I'll just point out where I am. I'll just I'm behind the whatever.
Okay. So the infirmary is full now. I do want to take a look at that first.
Yeah, she has 2 patients in there right now.
Mhm.
There are people who were injured in the attack on the dinner party.
Okay.
2 guys I shot and didn't kill. Yeah.
How are they looking?
One of them looks pretty bad. He's panting and moaning, and his skin is kind of pale, and he's sweating a lot. The other one seems to be pretty motionless, but he seems to be more like
Right.
kind of like breathing and focusing.